I was like, hey man, why don't you come on and why don't you crack open? Why don't you unpack BlazBlue for me, if you don't mind? You know, there's a couple of characters where I'm like, I think these guys have some cool designs, and I'm down with seeing what's going on. And then before that even happened, you're like, do you mind if I bring a presentation? And I was like, excuse me? And then this motherfucker rolls up and he comes over and he's like, so I brought a presentation. And I'm like, okay. So
special class tonight.
Special class tonight. Learning anime fighting games. Take it from the fucking top. Pedro, if you would.
All right. Well,
what? Have at it. Roll. You know, here you go. Mouse.
Okay.
Teach me, Sensei.
Oh, can I use the arrows? I prefer
you can
like
use,
buttons.
You can use absolutely. You can. I am all ears. Class is now in session. Let's fucking go.
Turn off your cell phones, motherfucker.
So
my phone's off.
We'll talk about learning fighting games, anime fighting games. You know, let's go. So, table of contents.
Yes.
Because of course. So we'll start with getting started. Then what you do when you play one of these games.
Tell me, Dr. Lychee. I remember that from the tutorial.
Right. I took that from the BlazBlue because we will be doing a case study with BlazBlue Central Fiction 2.
Case studies.
Yes. Let's go. So first thing you do when you want to get into anime games is you pick a game.
Yes.
And then there's several reasons why you would want to get into a game. Maybe it's the aesthetics, the characters, the gameplay, or other reasons.
Yes.
So let's get into those.
Okay.
Maybe you're like, oh, I love heavy metal aesthetics, the gears, the music, the stuff that Daisuke does, Guilty Gear.
Filling the screen with bullshit and gears. Hell yeah.
Maybe you're about that. Or maybe you're more about that
graphic
English
design.
Aesthetic of like Under Night, where every text there has like weird stuff that doesn't really mean anything, but is actually amazing.
You can't escape from crossing fate.
Don't try to read that paragraph, by the way.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, you might pick a game for the aesthetics. You might pick a game for the characters. So maybe all maybe your whole life you've been swimming in a swimming pool and holding these noodles, and you're like, I want to fight with that, you know?
Interesting selection, Pedro.
Yes, I wonder where those characters came from. Or maybe you like, you know, references to other franchises, lots of guest characters in fighting games or games that are based on other franchises.
Yeah.
Like Akihiko. Or maybe, you know, there's other reasons why you would like a character.
Other reasons.
Yes, other reasons such as you know, samurai, right? Samurai are pretty cool, right?
Yeah. This class is made for me.
And then there's the gameplay, of course. Maybe you like the system mechanics. So like if you like system mechanics, Under Night has great system mechanics, very complex, and they work out pretty well.
I used to be afraid of the grid.
Yeah.
And then we went out and we had a beer, and you walked me through it. And I am no longer afraid of the grid.
You've embraced the grid.
I've embraced the grid.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's pretty. It's now that I know, it's actually pretty cool. It was so anyway. So if you put the most intimidating thing in the first. Go on. Sorry.
And then and maybe you like combos, right? Maybe you're like, oh yeah, Arakune 53 hit curse combos where you have to hold and release buttons at specific timings. That's my jams. Maybe not. You know, maybe it's about the movement. Maybe you're like, oh, I like Arcana Heart because for me the floor has always been lava, and I need to fly. I need to never touch the ground.
Marvel, yeah.
Right? No, it's like it's another level. It's amazing. You have a fly button or a homing button, ish. And then, or maybe you're like, no, like I love anime aesthetics, but you know, I need my grounded footsie-based games, and so you would probably get into Koihime because that's a very ground-based short combo thing.
Koihime Enbu?
Oh yeah.
AKA Street Fighter 2?
AKA Street Fighter 2.
Gotcha.
And so let's go on. And maybe it's for an external reason. Maybe, you know, you found a great community on Discord. Maybe you like the tournaments on Smash
GG.
God.
Yo, Pedro's godlike. This guy's godlike. All right.
We're doing the whole thing.
Maybe you like video resources, right?
Yeah.
Like MeltyDB there, where you can look up your favorite Dragon Ball player Goichi and look at his matches where he's playing Akiha. Or maybe you like the tutorials. So lots of the modern games.
What website is that in the top left there?
I have a link for it later.
Okay.
It's MeltyDB.
Okay.
So, side note. input devices, right? You know, some people they're like, oh, you know, I need to get a stick, I need to play on a controller, or you know, I heard hitbox is optimal. No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You play with anything. You just like.
But I built my own stick, and I have my own homemade.
Yeah, you can play on that. I mean, it's more like you embrace it, right? Like a stick is something that you can modify. You put your own artwork. You put your buttons that you
wait, hold on. But if I put an Octogate in it, then now it's the best one.
Ban. No more Octogate. Okay. So what to do? So when you like want to get into a game and you want to start learning it, you play.
Yeah.
You think.
Yeah.
You train.
Yeah.
You research. Right. It sounds like a lot of work, right?
Okay.
It's not actually how it goes. It's you play, or you think, or you train, or you research, and you keep going. And as long as you're doing something in relation to the game, you'll learn it and you'll get better at it, right? So you just do whichever one of these activities you like the most, and hopefully playing is one of those, and then you'll get into it. So let's get into playing.
Yeah, that's the sisters from Melty Blood.
Yes, fighting game references.
Hey. Or Tsukihime.
Or from the anime, right?
Tsukihime.
The Tsukihime anime, very popular anime. And so you know you play. When you play, you know you kind of get comfortable with the game. You get comfortable with the mechanics and everything. There's something that people don't really get is there's something to learn from fighting people of any different level, right? You fight people that are weaker than you. You can kind of practice. You fight people that are better than you. You learn your bad habits. You know, learn what's good and not. And you fight people at the same level. Well, there's the competition. It's super fun.
And then there's the mind games if they're at the same level as well.
Yeah, right. Which you kind of miss out on if like there's a bigger skill gap. So you know, you play people of all levels. There's always something to learn. You learn what you have to work on. You can test out your strategies, things that you've been working on.
Yeah.
You meet other people, and you just have fun, right? It's fun.
If you have a local scene that
you can play online. It doesn't
online,
yeah, or whatever. You know, you can play versus the CPU.
I hear people are great on the internet.
Like for myself personally, whenever I want to pick up a new game or a new character in a game that I'm familiar with, I'll do a bunch of arcade mode runs just to grind the gears out and get comfortable with using that character in a match setting.
So even if I'm out in the boonies, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Oh shit!
It doesn't matter.
Got it.
Preferably, if you're playing online, use a wired connection. But you can do it. You can do it. Don't play on McDonald's Wi-Fi. So
don't tell Melty Blood. No, don't tell Melty Blood players where to play.
They can now play in the main ballroom if everyone knows. That's a joke.
Not just
that
in the bathroom.
We should not. All right. So I'm going to skip ahead actually to understanding the game, because if we're playing the game, we probably want to understand it.
Sure.
So we'll get to the other aspects.
Okay.
First.
Yeah.
So if you've heard about fighting games, you probably know that there's 3 general phases to the game: offense, defense, and neutral. Right.
Okay.
So let's go through that. Offense. Right. So offense is generally like this kind of thing where you do a block string, and then you do a mix-up, and then you do a hit confirm, and then you do a combo. You knock them down, set play, block string again.
That's a lot of words, man.
It's a lot of words. That's why.
It sounds like offense equals attacking.
It's attacking, but it's attacking with like a reflection behind it, right? You plan your things out so that you create opportunities to take guesses and create advantage over your opponent. So I put a link to a quintessential Milia guide that should demonstrate what this kind of sequence is about. Can I click it?
You can click the play button.
I can click the play button.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. I'm sorry for audio. I hope this isn't too loud. So you do a combo, and then you knock them down, and then you do a mix-up, and then you do a combo, and then you knock them down. And then you do a mix-up.
I've seen Lord Dan do that.
Oh no! He went low this time, right?
Oh.
Okay. This time. Oh, he's blocking. Okay. And you're +3 on block. It doesn't matter. You just yeah.
Outplayed.
So
managed to stay in an advantageous position.
You knock them down.
He never got out of the corner.
If they're on the ground, you know they can only attack once they're up. So you can time your attacks to hit them while they're waking up, and so you have advantage there. And so you can use that to create situations where you force them to guess.
What would you call that if they're getting up and you attack them while they're getting up?
There's several words depending on what you're talking about. It could either be a melee attack, which is an attack that hits them while they are getting up, or it could be an okizeme situation where you are taking advantage of the fact that they are down, or it could be a set play if you have a set sequence of attacks that should cover their wake-up options.
So if we say something later on tonight like meaty or oki, it's referring to you're getting up and I'm attacking you while you're getting up. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
So.
Wow.
Maybe I have to click.
Hell of a
defense.
Oops.
No, never mind. We won't. I have the source there. I don't know if we should click that though.
No.
Well, we'll maybe show it after or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So defense. So here I put some of the examples from BlazBlue. So defensive options, because once you're on the defense, you still have pretty good options.
Blocking. Defense equals blocking, right?
There's a lot more to it than blocking, right? So once that you are knocked down, in a game like BlazBlue, you have wake up like recovery options, right? So you can roll, you can delay your wake up, so that the opponent, if he tries to time his attack to hit you as you're waking up, doesn't always get it. So there's still mind games and interactions going on over there. He still has the advantage, of course. But
so basically, if you're like stuck in the corner, like we just saw there, sometimes you're not stuck in the corner. There's things you can do.
There's things you can do. Unfortunately, not against Milia in Guilty Gear.
Yeah, that was a pretty. You picked a pretty. I mean, you picked a choice example there, buddy.
He has maybe burst if it's available. Yeah. It wasn't, but in some characters might have reversals, right? Such as DPs or supers or backdashes, right? People often forget about wake up backdash when they're starting out in games, because backdashes are invuln in these games, right? You can't hit them. So if you backdash and the guy misses his attack, maybe he'll have extra recovery, and you can get back to not being in block stun. Then just blocking itself, you can instant block, you can barrier block. So instant block is timing your blocks right with your opponent's attacks.
And it usually allows you to recover faster from the block stun.
Less block stun, or barrier, which gives you more block stun but pushes them back further. Hopefully they'll miss an attack later in their string.
I call them fancy blocks.
Well, you'll have to show me your fancy blocks a bit later. It's very important in BlazBlue. Then, of course, in defense, never forget escaping. You have to escape your opponent's offense at some point. And while sometimes that escape is done through an anti-air or a challenge, aka just mashing down A.
Okay.
You can also just escape through patience, because often people's pressure just ends at some point, right? So if you outlast them, then it's fine. You're back at neutral.
So when we're watching a game like Dragon Ball and Goichi is just doing a ridiculous job of blocking for like 20 seconds straight, that's actually the right thing to do.
It can be, and that's actually the second link there. But yeah, it can. Sometimes it's the right thing to do if you're confident in your defense. You can. There's such a great feeling when you block the guy's pressure. You just deny him his fun. For like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You're just like, you know what? You can't touch me. You actually cannot touch me.
I read your mind.
Yeah.
It's not just rock paper scissors. It's I've created a wall of paper, and your scissors is not. There's nothing.
I have understood your scissors.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I took the paper out, and now there's a phone book, and it's like start cutting. Right. Yeah. And it's just defense.
Just go.
Yeah. Exactly. Perfect.
And then of course there's also some system mechanics such as guard cancels and whatnot that are quite useful. Neutral. So neutral is the most complex of these because it's really hard to explain.
Yeah. Because when I play a fighting game and I go and it says round 1 fight, it told me to start fighting.
Yeah. Right.
So.
So I mean, you can kind of summarize that to hit the other guy, don't get hit. Right.
That's like boxing. They tell them hit, don't get hit.
Right.
Yes, that's rule number 1.
So same as boxing, right? So if I was to delve into it just a bit more and talk about what you're actually trying to do is you're trying to create situations where you can initiate your offense.
Okay.
And you're trying to avoid situations where they can initiate your offense, forcing you to go on the defense.
I'm sorry, Reggie, we are in a PowerPoint presentation about neutral in fighting games right now. I just needed to...
This is the blueprint.
I just needed to have a moment. Okay, all right, let's do it.
And one of my favorite things is that often people think about their character tools a lot, but matchup interactions, and of course they're very important, but often movement is the way that you can best create those situations that are to your advantage in avoiding your opponents. So do you mind if we take a look at 3 seconds or about 30 seconds of
this is your TED Talk.
Let's go.
This is grand finals.
This is grand finals of KSB 2015, I think.
Okay.
And so let's just look at how this Ragna decides to play this neutral. This is BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. So he's just like, I am going to stay at this range where Tager cannot hit me, and I'm barely going to attack him. You know, maybe a few times at first, but I'm never going to overextend, never going to give him a chance to hit me. He's not even confirming his hits. He's just like, I don't, because if he goes on blocked into something weird, then it might give the Tager a chance. But he's just like, you have no chance of hitting me right now, you know? And yeah, I guess it just kind of goes on for a while.
And he just keeps him right there.
and you know he's coming from the loser's side. So he's gonna do about what 6 rounds
of
this. Of just this.
Yeah.
Of timeouts.
So hey, this is Blanca versus Zangief.
This is This is the neutral. You just
get the fuck away from me.
You just
I
keep
can
your
poke
range,
you.
right? Just because I have tools that allow me to hit you from close doesn't mean that it's an advantage for me to go in that situation. You know,
why bother?
Why?
Yeah, Tigger wants to go in. He wants to get really close, but you can keep him out. Okay.
So
and he's got to make a really good guess to get in.
Oh, Tigger's in, kinda.
A hard read.
And he's doing a good job to occupy the mid-range as well.
Oh, he got hit? Oh, DP, yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't go for the knockdown. He just goes for the full screen blowback and make sure that there's minimize the risk. And
so what do you think? So the Tiger in this situation then, at some point, is going to have to start going crazy, or at least take some bigger risks.
He's going to have to.
Because timer's running out, he's not getting in, he doesn't have the life lead.
Yeah.
Things didn't work out.
Yeah.
And that's the first round, just
and
like that.
And that's how all those rounds go. If you're
lame as fuck.
If you're interested in that match, that's how it is. And you know, Ragna isn't usually a character that people associate with that kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
But you do what you got to do sometimes.
In the matchup, yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
That's a good example.
Oops,
yeah.
I clicked on this. So.
Oh, flowcharts.
Flowcharts, tying it all together. So my fabulous MS Paint skills came together for this. I'm trying to show you guys how things, you know, how you go from one state to the other.
We have a question.
Yes.
What's the difference between a hard read and a soft read?
A soft read.
Is that like another word for option select?
Well, look, soft reads happen to everyone every once in a while.
Okay, I know those kinds of reads.
It's not, you know, it's a little embarrassing when it happens. Generally, you want hard reads.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So just don't feel too embarrassed about it. It's
Don't
okay.
soft,
Take a break, step away from the game, you know, maybe eat some pineapple and head back in there.
You got this.
Go ahead.
You got this.
So, what I just wanted to show with this diagram is...
Where do we go from here?
This arrow, well, this over here, maybe. This is kind of important. So, you can start your offense from neutral by jumping in on your opponent, hitting them with an anti-air, hitting them with a counter hit, hitting them with a poke, some pokes, or just dashing in their face, right?
In my Dragon Ball flowchart, that would be the
super
we
dash.
Going in,
yeah, right?
Super dash,
right? And then the second thing that I wanted to show you guys with this is from offense, you can loop offense
into offense
if you're good at doing combos into knockdowns into offense.
Right.
So important things to learn. Oh, we're not done yet.
Oh,
actually,
shit.
Sorry.
Oh, you're building
I've expanded this to show doing a combo and eating a combo. So let's say that you put yourself in a bad situation.
Okay.
You can either press a button anyway or block. Both lead to defense, but one has eating a combo in it.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting.
People are going to need to actually examine this, I guess.
Yeah.
Later on, via pausing.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on it.
That's fine, but it is a comprehensive list of options you have at any given point.
So that's kind of what I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. So let's go back to 2.2, which is think. So you can develop strategies, theorize solutions to problems.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You're just like, man, Tiger keeps grabbing me. What should I do about that? Maybe don't get close enough so he can grab you. You know, that's a solution.
That character with all the projectiles keeps keeping me out, and it's very hard to get in.
Yeah.
That guy with the fucking scythe keeps spinning it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now what?
And you're like, maybe if I move forward and block, I'll walk him towards the corner, you know, that kind of thing. So important to think about the problems you're having. Important also to think about your personal problems. Now, I don't want to get into anything too personal here, but you know, sometimes people are like, man, when someone starts making me block, I can't think anymore. I just panic and start pressing every button on my stick until I unplug or something. You know?
I thought we were talking about life problems.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I don't want
right
now.
But I mean, that's not like, you know, a matchup or like, you know, game. It's like, oh, I get frustrated.
It can though.
It can though. And
never forget Toronto. Play hungry. Really, Toronto? Come to the tournament not eating because that's going to make you play better? Yeah, okay.
What?
Justin Wong does that.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, he does.
Huh.
Play hungry.
Because when you eat and then you get the itis, you're slower, but when you're hungry, you're focused.
That's like that whole fucking Like, don't have sex before you fight.
Yes.
Right? Which has been completely debunked and proven bullshit. But there's a chi that you hold in by being more backed up. What? I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's
okay.
fine.
Thinking.
Yeah, thinking. And taking notes helps. So, you know, if you notice that you are doing things before fights, you can take notes on that. And, you know, next time, you know, sometimes writing stuff helps you remember them.
Maybe if I watched my match back, I might learn something from watching my own replay.
Yes, that's quite an important way you can improve. And so, as I say at the bottom, thinking can be done while waiting for the next match.
Okay.
Or while you're commuting on the bus, going to work or something. You know, it doesn't have to be in any specific time. You can think about the game without it being in front of you.
What have you personally done like that?
Thinking?
Have you actually
Dude,
just?
I wrote like a fucking guide on how to play Kohime when I was on the plane to Evo. Like that was my flight. It took like the 5 hours of the flight.
You just broke it down.
I just wrote it. Yeah.
And that's a great way to consolidate your knowledge of the game as well.
Or you should see like my notes that I have on my Google Drive. It's just like I have notes for every game, and I just like put notes there whenever I think about them, and I kind of go towards them when I'm like, oh, I haven't played this game in a while. Let's do some training mode. What should I train? Open up the notes document. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking about last time. You know, helps you keep fresh, and it motivates you to go to training mode. Well, let's go on. Let's not drag this on too long. So training, right? It's training mode. So training mode. I know people don't like to go into training mode, but once you like get into the game, you kind of want to go into it because you're like, that's where I can clean up my mistakes.
Well, I mean, the menu divides the game into fun mode and then training mode.
Right.
So,
yeah,
you know, why would you want to click on anything that's not fun mode?
Because if you practice stuff like cool stuff, then you can show it off to your friends, and they can be like, yo, that combo was OD.
OD, like OD. From if your friend's from New York.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So you mean like when Daigo went like in Evo Moment 37, that was something that maybe he tried beforehand?
Maybe it wasn't the first time he did it.
Maybe
he saw someone else do it in a video and then was like, that looks pretty cool. I should go try that in training mode. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe he just did it on the spot because Daigo's amazing. Maybe. We'll never know.
But you can learn to do that.
You can learn to do that.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, practicing, you can not only practice offense, you can practice defense. You know, you set the opponent to doing stuff and you practice fighting against it because it feels so good to shut down people. Let's move on. Research. Very quick. You can watch match videos. Watching match videos is amazing. Watching either strong player match videos, your own match videos, whatever. Take notes, timestamps the stuff. It's really good to have to go back to. You can read up on your character on Discord, talk to people there, just like get comfortable with like, oh, I'm having trouble in this matchup. What do you guys think? Or just go read stuff about that. Or you can just, you know, ask your opponents or your local scene some questions. You can be like, oh, Woolie, you beat me with that bullet command grab. How do I not get hit by that? And you'll be like, oh, it doesn't hit you if you're in the air. And that's genius. I have to jump.
So instead of sending messages that are going to put you on scrub quotes, maybe you can send a message that's actually, hey, let's talk about what just happened. Maybe I can learn something.
Yes, maybe you can.
That's a novel concept.
Moving on.
Or you could just steal pro tech from videos.
Oh, like you can find in these match video databases.
How about that?
Wow.
So, if you go on any of these websites...
Shout-outs to the naming conventions of these people.
They're pretty amazing,
Is it the same guy making them?
The in ones, yeah, but not the others. Yeah.
Okay, because it's pretty awesome that rockthedrag.in, keeponrock.in, keeponblaze.in. You know, that's good stuff. That's easy to remember.
And then that last one is just like a general database of Nico videos. From Japan. So if you're looking for obscure games, they have videos of those, and you can look it up by characters and whatnot. So,
wait, hold up. Chainshift.com. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. Okay.
The undernet. That's what it's called when you double tap the D button.
Yeah. Chainshift. Yeah, got it.
And then some other links that might be useful.
How about that?
That first one is you can look it up, but it's a games and characters and regions Discord list on Google. So
I'm in the biking Discord. It's a good time.
Wow. Yeah. It's cool to just socialize with people that play your character, or just like look up the resources that they've posted or look at their conversations.
Pedro, you're being really, really nice. Let's be real. All you do in those discords is bitch about your character and bitch about your matchups. That's all we do.
No, that's
there's a video tab where you get tech, but then there's every other tab in that Discord in any other game in a specific character thing is going, man, fuck this bullshit. What am I getting my buffs?
Okay, Woolie. I agree with you that that's what most people do in Discords, but you see, I'm a moderator on the Discord that I'm on, and we're the people that are like, no, you have to learn, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to adjust the neutral, adjust the spacing, you know, bait the chains, and get out of the mix-ups.
Moderator.
But I need grounded Yozan-san.
Moving on, there's also the Dustloop wiki and the Mizumi wiki, which have great resources for the games that are on those websites. I recommend you check them out if you're interested in the games on those websites.
Okay.
So let's get into BlazBlue because we've been talking about...
This is the topic of the night.
Right. So BlazBlue Central Fiction 2. Offense. So when you're getting into BlazBlue, combos are like super important. And the way I describe this is because combos are what puts weight into the decisions that you take at neutral. Because if you're just hitting buttons, you're going to get stray hits here and there, but it's never going to like lead up to anything. If you're able to get hits and go into combos from those hits, you get much more reward.
Okay.
Right? So you do combos, you learn combos for close, far, and air hits, so that you have like, it doesn't have to be optimal. It doesn't matter if it's optimal, you'll get there eventually.
I was going to say, like, if you just pick somebody and then like, can you do an ABC
Yes.
launch ABC type situation, or not launch, but
most characters in BlazBlue have like magic series, like quick A B into C into like whatever combos. You can pick stylish mode if you don't want to even learn that, and just press A, and it'll do a combo for you. And then the thing that I want to get clear is some people are like, oh, it's not worth my time if I'm not learning an optimal combo. It's like a waste of time, right? But it's not, because you're never like learning like optimal combos unless you're like really in there. You're always like learning combo parts and kind of placing it together.
Yeah.
And in a match, like you never know what hit is actually going to hit. And so you're always doing like adaptations, you know, you're kind of making up for the mistakes that you do. And so you just want to get comfortable with doing combos in general and how your character works and all that. So it's a huge learning process, and you don't have to take it all in at first. You just learn like one hit into a special and you go from there, you know.
Half the time you're getting something that in fast games anyway, at least like in games like Marvel, stray hits, right? Yes. And you're getting stray hits, and you have to be able to convert a stray hit into something. Whatever you maximized your in training mode is not going to apply on that.
You're not going to get that close, meaty,
perfect
hit with your heavy starter and whatnot.
In the corner with full meter.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
You might get it on a DP punish, but you know, that's another story.
Yeah.
So offense, you know, you do that. You end your combos in knockdowns. No matter which combo you learn, you always try and end it in a knockdown. You meaty them maybe with a two-way, with a move that has like low recovery, so that if you mess up your timing or whatever, you're still safe, and it gives you lots of options to chain into. Right? It's like the lowest move in the chain, in the hierarchy of moves. I'm
following this. Chat, let me know if you're following. I want to know if people are actually absorbing, or if or not. But I feel like I'm just curious to get feedback on that. But yes, go ahead.
And then, you know, you find ways to end your strings that are safe.
Yes.
And you learn how to initiate pressure from neutral. Okay. So I don't know if this is the next slide. No, I'm going into defense. Defense, you know, just general guidelines for BlazBlue. You can hold to tech in BlazBlue, right? So in Guilty Gear, you have to like press the button a lot.
Okay.
In BlazBlue, you can hold, and then it techs in the direction that you want, or whatever. General guideline is you hold the tech in the air, and then when you're on the ground, though, you don't want to do that. Because if you hold the tech on the ground, it's going to be hard to time your reversal option. This is kind of getting into
this is gonna stuff. Let's get into. I'm gonna have to be playing the game to pick up what you're putting down.
I'll go back to this later.
Yeah.
So neutral, real quick. Keep it simple.
I like that.
Keep it simple. Force a guess. Yes. Be ready to adapt. And let's go into some examples. So, and I'm almost done, right? It ends after these examples.
Okay.
So let's say that you're playing Mew 12 on the left, and
I liked her,
and Ragna's on the right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ragna kind of wants to get in on Mew because Mew has has projectiles, right? And so if you think Ragna's going to approach you from the ground, you hit him with the 5C. That hits pretty fucking far. If you think he's going to approach you through the air, you can anti-air with 2C. I personally prefer 6A, but this is a much better graphical demonstration of what an anti-air is.
Question.
Yes.
I remember when she was New 12, and then I heard there was a Lambda 13. Now what's going on?
We'll get to that when we get to character select.
Okay.
That's fine. So as an example there, I just want to explain that the anti-airs in this game have this thing called head invulnerable attribute or something. Okay. Invulnerability to the head attribute. So they are invuln against attacks that are in the air.
Right.
So
if something is coming at you,
you'll just beat it.
You are completely gonna win.
Hitboxes still matter, but general rule, you just do it and you're good.
You are America, they are Grenada. It doesn't matter. You can have your dick hanging out. You're gonna win. Got it.
And then, of course, sometimes you're not sure how they're gonna approach you. Right? You're like, maybe he's gonna come through the ground. Maybe he's gonna come through the air. I don't know. You can jump back and reposition and see what they do, and then next time you're ready for what they might do.
Okay.
So you don't always have to take a guess with that. Then you're getting in, right? So let's say that you're Ragna, and you're like, I want to get in. I want to hit her with that 5B, right? But they keep beating you with their 5C. So how can you beat the 5C? Well, you can jump over it, right? And then it whiffs, and then you can hit her because it has a lot of recovery. Or you can dash and then block, and then if you're too close, you'll block it. Or if you're just far enough, as it's shown in this clip, it actually is whiffing. And so from there, you can whiff punish, which is a novel concept for air dashers. But you can actually whiff punish in BlazBlue. It's actually a thing.
Nice. So dashing in doesn't mean you should necessarily always attack after you dash in.
You dash in, you stay outside the range, and you're like, what are you going to do?
The dash is still very threatening.
Yes.
So it might elicit like a reaction out of your opponent. Okay.
It's a very unnatural thought, like especially as a beginner in any game where you have that much control, to make a really offensive thing like dashing all the way in and then not attacking. You know what I mean?
People are asking about 5B and 5C.
The notation.
Yes, that's
so this was covered in scrub guides, but we can never cover it enough. What do you mean by these letters and these numbers?
All right. Well, if you're watching this stream, you might be on a computer. If you're on a computer, you might have what's called a numpad on your keyboard. So if you look at your numpad, you'll notice that there might be some arrows on it pointing in different directions, and that's what we use to determine the directions of the joystick. So 5 would be in a neutral position, and so standing C or whatever.
No direction.
No touch. You didn't touch your stick.
Yeah, it's neutral.
And then we'll consider that you are facing towards the right, and so 6 would be forward, 4 would be back, 2 is down, 8 is up, and then the directionals for the diagonals for the other numbers.
So 1 would be down, back.
And it might sound like math or something complicated, but like you learn a combo that has number notation and then your numpad notation, and then you're good. Like it's not really.
So 5B is standing, neutral.
So I had a big, when Dragon Ball first came out, I had a big conversation about this on Twitter and then on my channel again, and it's a really hard thing for a lot of people to get over when they see 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then A, right? And it's like, this just looks like code, and it looks like almost like elitist. Like, what is the point of this kind of thing? And it's like, why would that ever be easier than saying half circle forward or half circle back? And in general, I mean, and this is one that like Lord Knight even chimed in on to sort of explain that it's like, this is something that like, it seems like it's easier. It seems like that makes sense at first, but anime games in particular have situations where there is no short word to describe the exact thing you have to do with the stick, right? And I like the example I think I gave when I brought it up one time was like TKO Zansen or not even or like Kirei Tatami, right? So like you're doing a Hadoken, but you're doing it in the air, but there is pauses in your input that are very, very precise that like require you to put the stick back to the neutral position and then continue, right? So trying to say up, forward, then quarter circle forward, pause, then forward again is a very long sentence, and you can't just put those QCF, comma. All of a sudden, that's way trickier than just saying 2, 3, 6, 9, 6. Right. Or whatever the case is, and then in that case the numbers actually end up being shorter. So it seems like a lot at first, but there's actually a reason that makes sense, and there's a reason why it caught on.
It also like transcends language barriers, right? Like you don't.
That's a really good one too. Yes, and he also pointed out that it's that when you're speaking to Japanese players, the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah. Well, okay, when you're chatting with them, it's fine, but when you're speaking to them, you actually have to use like the Japanese numbers.
But any language, anyone can read the numbers.
Yeah,
and
read it. Yeah.
The combo is
working
Esperanto at this point.
Yeah.
All
perfect.
Right. So moving on. Now we're gonna get to like I think the before last slide, and it's gonna be a bit more complicated. Okay, guys, are you ready for this? So what if you've jumped over it, and you're like, I want to hit them with my jump attack because that's what lets me start offense.
Yeah.
Right? JC, right? So, but they're on the ground, so they can anti-air you. Man, the anti-air beats the jump-in move, so how am I going to attack them? Well, you can either use a special move that delays your fall in the air, so they'll whiff their anti-air, and then you come down on top of them.
So a move that stops your momentum.
Yes. That's one option. Or the second option is you air dash away. So you jump over their move. They didn't do it. You air dash away, and then they miss their anti-air. And we're back at neutral, right? And this is like a really important concept because a lot of people, they tend to always use their second air option, right? They're like, oh, I jumped. Now I can air dash, or now I can double jump. I have to do it. No, you don't. That leaves you with no more options after. Right?
You can wait. You
jump once most of the time, and then you double jump for a specific reason, or you air dash away for a specific reason, right? You don't want to. It kind of like exposes you, right? If you just use your second air option, and then you're like, oh well, my opponent knows that I'm absolutely going to fall here, so he can just go there and hit me with his attack that hits me there.
That's a very Smash Brothers concept, actually.
Is it? Oh, maybe.
In this, again, because you double jump and then you're up B, right? Yeah. So if you expend your options, you know what's happening. Yeah. You know where they're going to land. You know what's going on. Yeah.
Okay. So, easy enough. And so thank you for your time.
Thank you.
If maybe one day you will be able to play as Ragna and get in on you.
Oh, right. I liked Noelle Vermillion.
Oh. What?
Isn't that?
No. She was at some point.
But then.
And now she's back.
Oh.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's like a state where she doesn't really know who she is.
Okay.
So I think we're ready to jump into the game.
Ragna the Blood Edge.
Yes. There's a very high amount of edgy words in that name.
He's not Soul bad guy, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no hell. Only darkness.
Oh wow.
Oh shit. All right.
All right.
Let's get
then. It. That was godlike. That was wow. Thank you. You have to say the words. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. You know?
Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay. What? I am floored. I'm beside myself. I did not expect anybody to be like, "Yo, I'm coming in ready to teach," but you did.
Session.
That's sick.